Hello, this is Bea. Today I'd like to talk to you about a new feature that we have introduced with Edius XS and Stratus 3.5. Over here I'm running my low-res Edius XS, which also includes the Stratus tab, as you can see. Within the Stratus tab I have the full functionality that my Stratus login allows me to use. So of course I can perform a search by keyword, I can preview content before I use it if I wish, and simply drag and drop into the source window in Edius. What's happening here is I'm using the low resolution proxy, I'm marking in point, marking out point, and I can drag that into my timeline. And this is not new functionality. This has been around for quite a while now. And as you can see, I can see the color on my timeline as checkered. This indicates that I'm using the low resolution content that exists within my Stratus system. Now, what's really new, what we have introduced with recent releases, is the ability to bring in content outside the Stratus system. For example, stills and audio files. As long as that content is shared and available to the Grass Valley render engine, you're able to bring in some of those files. So let's say I want to use this still, and I want to bring that at the top of my timeline over here. So now I've got the ability to introduce or to add stills to my timeline within the low-res Edius XS, which of course you've always been able to do in the high-res Edius, but we have just introduced this capability on the low-res Edius XS. So stills, voiceovers or pre-recorded audio files. So here I have an audio folder and I've got some voiceovers. Maybe I have some music that I want to also, let's put it first on the source window over here, and you can play and preview and drag and drop into the timeline. You can add it to different tracks, of course, and then you can trim as desired and as suitable for your edit. So as you can see over here, two colors I've got the checkered color, which is my low resolution content, and in solid color, in solid green in this case, I have the high resolution content. So this is indicating that the audio that I've just brought in, it's not on proxy quality. This is my high res content audio in this case, and still over here. Now let's take it one step further. I'm just going to add one more video track. And imagine that you want to add a logo. So in this case, I have some logo with transparency over here, our Grass Valley logo. And I'm gonna want to add that onto the video track number 2. I'm gonna make that a little bit longer, a little bit more extensive, because I'm gonna want to overimpose it over my main video. So I'm just gonna go to the layouter, and over here, I can resize. As you can see, resize my logo, reposition it over here on top of the blue where I can see it much better. Okay, that, and without any rendering and in real time, you can see now I have my lovely Grass Valley logo on top of my edit. So in a summary, what you've seen me do here is I brought some external files, audio files, video files, in this case, a graphic with alpha as well, transparency, so that I can superimpose it onto my edit. And all of this allowing me to mix content in low res from Stratus and my local files. Now remember, these files must be in a location that is accessible to the Grass Valley render engine. In this case, I put it on my K2 SAN under the same folder where the Edius projects are stored, but that's completely and entirely up to your configuration. Now, once I'm happy with my edit, just press F11. I get a window that is telling me that I'm using some local files that are not part of the Stratus database, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to choose to send that to the news playout area. This is a K2 bin, and I'm going to request that a conform process happens at the same time. So I'm going to say final Reno rates. Of course, if this was for a news environment, I could see all of my news rundowns over here, and I can choose my placeholder to send to the news rundown. In this case, I'm just gonna send it as final Reno race. And if I open my XRE monitor, this is allowing me to monitor the process of that rendering. So you can see that the Grass Valley render engine has picked up that request and is processing. Now, while that is processing right now, it's being flattened and it's being rendered and it's being converted into a new file. I can, of course, come onto the TX folder, which is where I've just sent it to, and you can see that it's already arrived and is growing. I'm working on a low resolution client, so at this point I am not able still to play it until I have an icon that indicates that I have proxy content. But at this point you could of course play it with a K2 Summit channel because the high resolution media is already available. At this point you can see that I have proxy, so I'm able to load that onto my window, onto my inspector here, and I can see my graphic, and I can see my airplane with my little Raspberry logo over there, lovely jubbly. And all of that is part of the latest functionality that we have included with Edius XS and GV Stratus 3.5.